Hi everybody, it's Claire back with another art journal video, and again I'm just sharing a page that I've done using some of Dina's latest release. I'm playing in the large craft journal and just doing a single page spread. So I'm starting off with some turquoise and I'm using one of the large flat square brushes just to get some paint on. You can see my brush is quite wet as well, so paint isn't particularly opaque in some places, but it doesn't really matter because I'm going to be building up layers with the stenciling. So here I've used turquoise, lemon and magenta. If you've never tried these three colours together, they are really pretty. They do work really nicely together and they blend really nicely as well. Where the colours overlap, you can create some really pretty new colours. So then using the lattice stencil and again the turquoise, I'm just going in and adding some stenciling, and I'm trying to stencil with the same colours that I've used on the background already, but I'm mixing up where I'm putting the stenciling, so I'm not stenciling on top of the same colour all the time. So here you can see I'm putting the lemon bit over the turquoise and in some places over the pink and just overlapping it a little bit. So then I'm going in with the magenta, and I've got Dina's two new stencils there, the ones that I was sent. So I've got Coasters 1 and Coasters 2. So this one I'm using here is Coasters 1. Lovely little stencils, really nice. It's lovely that they're a different shape as well. I don't know what it is about that, but I find that really nice, really pleasing. Then this is the Coasters 2. And again, just using the turquoise and going in and just building up those patterns and layers on the background before I go any further. So then this is some collage paper from the new Grids collage pack, and I'm just sticking that down using some matte medium. As I've said before, this is so lovely because it does just melt into the background, and it's lovely that you can see the background colours through the collage paper too. So I'm just adding some pattern onto my page. So sometimes I start off with collage paper on the background and sometimes I go straight in with paint. I just kind of do it without thinking really. And for me, it doesn't really matter which way you do it. Unless, of course, you're going to go in with a really busy collage background and then stencil over the top. The collage that I add on is generally quite subtle really, and I tend to add little bits. So here I am using the Squoval stencil. It's one of the older stencils, and I'm going in with the bright fluorescent pink, which is called Stoked. These are, as I've said, quite translucent, so they're not the same as the heavy body acrylics. They don't cover the same. So these are quite nice when you're kind of good for letting the background peep through, but you can still get that kind of flash of brightness from the neon paint. So you can see that I've built up lots of layers of colour and pattern, and actually though it's all quite subtle. It's not bright and in your face. So now I'm going in with white, and again I haven't changed the blending sponge on my blending tool, and I'm just adding the white to that fluorescent pink that's already on there, and that's creating that lovely bright, I don't know, how would you describe it? It's like a pastel-y fluorescent colour, if that's possible, but it is because it's there. So just more layers of more stenciling and more colours, and that white is, because it's white mixed with a little bit of pink, it's just adding a little bit of contrast to that background too, lifting that page a little bit. So then here I've found an image I want to stick in, and it's a face from one of Dina's older packs of collage paper, and I stuck it down and I found that the background was too distracting. So where the image is going to go, I've just gone in and added some white paint just to dull down that background so that the face will actually show through a bit better. And then I'm just sticking that down. You can see, because I'd already stuck it down and lifted it up to add the white paint underneath, my image is quite sticky. So but yeah, that's much better now, because if you look on the neck and shoulders, you can see that's what it was like where I hadn't added the white paint. But adding that white paint just helps that face to be a bit clearer. So then I'm going in with the Mantra stencil and just a little bit of whitey pink that's left on my blending tool, and I'm just adding a little bit of subtle text onto that background there. And then of course some pink splatters using the neon pink. It's just adding that little hint. And then that's going to be dried really, really well. And then it's time to start thinking about the writing. So I decided I would do a little bit of writing on the face. So I'm not going to be adding any colour onto the face apart from the white around the eyes. I'm going to leave it like that. And then I'm just adding my journaling at the right hand side of my page. And just to get those words on there. Drawn those lines in first just to act as a bit of a guide for my lettering. So once I'd got the lettering done, I did go in and add a little bit more depth to one side of those letters. And then I've also added some dots onto my page as well, just to blur some of those edges and help the image feel like it belongs a bit more on the page. Doing that at the top and bottom as well. And I've obviously got that stamp that I'm designed for Funky Fossil, which I also sometimes use just for getting some spots and dots onto my page really, really quickly. And after that, I decided that I wanted to stamp some circles onto there in white because I felt that the page just needed a little bit more contrast. After saying I didn't add any more colour onto the face, I have added a little bit of pink on the cheeks. But apart from that, I wanted it to be fairly straightforward. So lots and lots of fun playing with these neon paints. There's so much you can do with them, and the fact that you can mix them with the other colours and use them through the stencils in that way that you can still see the background through. There are so many possibilities. So I hope you've enjoyed watching me create this page in the Large Craft Journal using some of Dina's new release. Thanks for watching, and until next time, I hope to see you again soon.